So is this what you meant by coming here almost every day?
Yes. Hanako and I usually have lunch here. It suits both of us, so we end up using the room regularly.
After seeing Hanako's reactions to me over the past couple of days, I can understand why that is a boon. That and Lily being able to get some quiet away from her class as well. I take my seat last, after Lily's poured the tea for us and sits down. The more time I spend with these girls, the more I think they're a perfect foil to Misha and Shizune. Even without a voice, Shizune is direct and brash, and Misha seems to get along with everyone. On the other hand, Lily is soft-spoken and relaxed, while Hanako seems to be the shyest girl I've ever met.
So, how are you faring in Yamaku, Hisao? You seem a bit flustered before.
Apart from getting lost every now and again and being crash-tackled outside my classroom, fine, I guess.
You looked pretty hurt before. Are you okay?
For a brief moment, I consider telling Hanako and Lily about my condition, but then I hold it back. I can't tell why, but for some reason I feel uncomfortable talking about it to these relative strangers, even if they have been pretty friendly.
Yeah, it's nothing. I was just a bit startled.
Blah, my bad. Judging from the two girls' expressions, I don't think that they're buying it. But in what I assume is their way of respecting my privacy, they don't press the matter. I guess that is one of the unwritten rules around here. Don't ask. Even if people's conditions are obvious, like Hanako's, there's still bound to be a story involved. Everyone has things that they don't feel comfortable speaking about, and I think everyone here recognizes that. So, how long have you been in this school? You both seem to know your way around pretty well.
Well, I've been here since the start of high school, but only moved into the dormitories a year ago.
Did I skip that line? Hanako joined at the start of high school as well, and moved to the dormitories when she did, if memory serves me right.
That's right. Since high school.
So you've known each other since then?
Since I moved, yes. Hanako lives next door to me, so it's only natural, right? Right.
Yeah, of course. Living next to someone is probably reason enough to befriend them, though I'm guessing that Lily's blindness played a part in it as well. I can't imagine Hanako easily making friends with someone who has to deliberately avoid looking at her scars. With the immediate conversation dried up, we start to eat our lunch. It isn't long before the bells are signaling the end of the break. Like me, the girls pack up their lunches as efficiently as they set them out.
I think I want some more lunch. Hanako, you got anything on you?
Nah, guess not. I guess I'd best be off. Are you going to go with Hisao, Hanako? Hanako looks up at me, and for a second I can see that she is considering skipping class, maybe just to avoid walking to class with me. I'm not that bad, am I?
Yes.
I don't know what to think of it. Hanako really is delicate to the point of breaking if looked at the wrong way. Makes me a bit nervous, but I push the feeling aside, trying to be as natural as I can. But we should hurry then. Class has already started by the sound of it. Lila gives a nod of farewell as she bends down to take her cane. Hanako and I fling out before her. We walk quickly down the empty halls to our respective classes. As we reach the door to Lily's 3-2 classroom, she turns towards me.
Hisao, thank you for sharing lunch with us today.
My pleasure, Lily. And with that we part ways, Lily entering her classroom and leaving Hanako and I to make off to our own. She's still looking like she wants to run away. So, do you really want to go back to class now?
Yes.
Okay then. I feel like I should say something more to her, but it's hard to come up with anything that would be appropriate and safe enough. And Lily was right. The more time we spend out here, the more explaining we have to do. I open the rear door to the class and walk in. The teacher looks up at me and opens his mouth to say something. However, as Hanako follows me in and closes the door, he simply nods to us and continues his lecture. Special privileges for Hanako, huh? Eh? Hanako, date me please, so I could get your privileges. This is the third time that Hanako has had her truancy practically ignored. There's definitely something going on here. Sorry. I'm gonna just take a drink real quick. Excuse me. We make our way to our seats, and I notice that Misha and Suzune are missing as well. I wonder if it's some form of informal agreement with the staff, or if it's a perk afforded to the unique students of the school. Trying to make as little disturbance as I can, I extract the relevant textbooks from my bag and start catching up. The class goes on quietly. The teacher seems like an okay person despite the weird first impression I got, and the material is relatively interesting. However, the way he teaches is really bizarre. It's as if he expects that everyone is a natural genius. When the final bell sounds, I realize that there is still a lot of time left in the day, and I'm left wondering what to do. It's odd. At the hospital I had 24 hours a day of free time, but here, filling the considerably shorter hours feels difficult. Everyone else leaves, and I'm left alone with the teacher. Mutou is examining the assignment sheets we were working on earlier, marking them with a red ballpoint. Raising his eyes from his papers briefly, he notices me and furrows his brow. What is it, Nakai? I jump at him, addressing me, but I guess it's natural to spark some conversation since there's nobody else around. Nothing. Thinking about what I'd do after school. The teacher slowly puts the cap on the pen he is holding and arranges his papers into a stack, clacking it against the desk twice. He seems very methodical, and for a brief moment I'm reminded of Shizune, but the teacher is more unhurried and relaxed, much more routined. You have no plans? No, I considered joining a club, but don't know what kind of club would interest me. Go observe a meeting of someone else's club. Might pique your interest. I guess. But I don't know how to continue from there. Mutou looks at me in a way that makes me quickly want to take the words back to avoid a conversation. But I can't, so I have to forge ahead. I will forge my own path! I just don't know how to deal with people. I mean, the other students. I'm talking to people and everything, so it's not that I'm isolated or anything. I just don't know what to think about the disabilities. It's like, it feels that I'm being impolite if I pay attention to them, and it's weird to ignore them. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. The teacher scratches his cheek absent-mindedly, looking very unresponsive. These things are only an issue if you make them one. You can talk normally with someone, even if they are blind or something. Try to look behind the superficial. There's not a single student here who isn't just a normal kid behind whatever they might seem at first glance. He says the same thing Yuko did. I know they're right, but it's hard. How can you not consider, for example, Shizune's deafness, when the only way to communicate with her is to talk through Misha. Or Hanako. It's not like you can just ignore her face. God damn it, Hisao, get over it. But I'm interrupted by the door of the classroom suddenly slamming open. God damn it, Misha. Teacher! Misha crashes in, hands straight in an enthusiastic greeting, her voice loud and lively, enough to wake the dead from their graves. She starts towards the teacher's desk, with her bouncing step, hands energetically swinging with the rhythm. Mutou, visibly dismayed at the interruption, and Misha in general, slumps in his chair. Mikado. Misha stops in her tracks and looks around cluelessly, as if she's sensing from his tone that something's wrong, but she has no idea what. Yes? We have talked about volume control before. Yes! But he doesn't lower her voice at all, and the teacher just rubs his eyes. So, what is it? We need help. We are running out of supplies for the festival stands. This is a distress! She waves a pink slip of paper she's holding around. So, go get more supplies from the art room. What's the problem with that? Plywood! Plywood is always the problem. Last time we wanted more there was only a little, but that time we just took it all and went with that. Now there's like none left there, so do you know where there is some more? I don't understand. How would I know? Shi-chan, the president thought that a teacher would know if there is plywood. Was she wrong? Mutou looks like he is in great pain, frowning with his entire essence, and Misha doesn't get it at all. Looking at the two of them communicate is terrible, like looking at a man being tortured by drilling his skull open while blasting pop music at full volume at the same time. I feel bad for Mutou at the moment. I'm afraid I have no idea if there is any plywood in the school, let alone where it would be if there are any. Aww, what should I do? Perhaps try to find Mr. Nomiya. I'm quite sure he would know where to find everything you need. You'd have to pry them from his cold, dead hands, but that's a different matter. I don't have time, we are so busy. She holds her head with both of her hands, looking as despairing as it's possible for a person like her. Without even noticing, she crumples the note she's holding against her hair. I shouldn't even be fetching these things. There's so much to do and we are falling behind the schedule. Mutou looks at her gravely and then suddenly smiles. Smiling doesn't really fit his face. I think it'd be better if he didn't. I wonder if you could get some temporary help. He switches to staring at me focusedly, with a hard expression, as if trying to say, go make some friends. I guess I can give you a hand. You can? Thanks, Achan. You're really nice. She pauses, does a double take, and then points at me with her fingers, yelping, ah! And looking very puzzled. Come to think of it, what's Achan doing here? Class is over. You should be having fun. We just had a little chat. Oh no, it's not detention, is it? Are you in trouble, Hachan? No, I'm not. Is Hachan in trouble, teacher? No, he's not. Mutou sighs deeply, and I feel that I have to help Misha to get off the teacher's back. So, what do you need? Here's a list. I can try to find the plywood from somewhere, if there's none in the art room. She offers me the note she's holding. I take it, hesitating a bit. Sorry, just had to yawn there. I said I'd help you, but this has no implications on whether I'm joining the student council or not. Aww. Still, thanks, Hachan. Try to be quick. We're in a stall building streak now. We must hurry, hurry, hurry. As far as I know, at the moment they've probably only built 2 stalls. She bounces out of the classroom, leaving me and the teacher looking at each other with something that feels like a silent agreement. Well, there you have it, Nakai. You have something to do now. Please don't sound so smug. Looking at the list with a number of items ranging from paint to plywood, all written with small, neat handwriting that is undoubtedly Shizune's, I heave a sigh. I'll be going then. Waving the long list limply at the teacher, I exit to the hallway. The classrooms closest to ours are designated belonging to classes 3-1 and 3-2 on the right side, and 3-4 on the left side, each door looking exactly the same. Further down the corridor, still with identical doors, are rooms that I didn't think were used for classes. I guess the art room is not a classroom as such. I carefully push open the furthest door and peek in. It's a classroom, but it seems rather badly kept or not in use. Am I in the right place? Desks and chairs are all around the room. A thin layer of dust settled on them. There are some easels in the corner, so at least this looks like the right place. The room is flushed in sunlight from the big windows, shadows creeping all over the desks. Specks of dust are dancing in the stagnant air, making the beams of light almost visible. Jokingly, I call into the empty room. Anybody home? Something catches my eye, and I stop mid-sentence. Sitting on a desk is a short-haired girl, curiously wearing a boy's uniform, with a fork between her toes, a morsel of food stuck firmly on the end. This odd way of dining seems to be caused by her apparent lack of hands, but her presence here is what takes me aback even more. How did I miss her before? She's sitting in a corner very still, but I somehow took her as part of the furnishing, or as a statue at first glance. I'm not being too observant today as a whole. The girl seems to be frozen in place, staring at me with her huge eyes like a rabbit in headlights. She's staring at me, her mouth wide open, ready to accept the fork. I'm staring at her, my mouth wide open, suddenly remembering I didn't finish my sentence, and trying to think if I should. This weird stalemate keeps us both stunned into silence, punctuated only by the wall clock ticking rhythmically. Hello. The girl stuffs the forkful in her mouth, and is now staring at me expectantly while chewing. This is a bit awkward. Hello. I was told to pick up some supplies from here. For some festival stalls, I think. I didn't think there would be someone here. There isn't. That's why I came here too. She picks up another forkful. Doesn't that mean you're here then? She raises her eyebrows as if she was suspecting my observation was false. You're pretty observant. I guess it does. But who are you? This girl is pretty straightforward, isn't she? I'm Nakai. Hisao Nakai. I just transferred in on Monday. I'm Rin. Tezuka Rin. Rin Tezuka. I won't shake hands with you, but at least we know who we are now. That's very nice. Her deadpan manner of talking makes it hard to determine whether she's joking about shaking hands or not. It kind of bothers me. Joking about these matters doesn't feel appropriate at all. While I'm trying to figure out what's appropriate and whether this girl is, she seems to have lost interest in me and is now gazing yearningly back at her food. Can I continue my lunch? If you don't mind me, I won't mind you. If you need to get your stuff, the supplies are at the back. Go right ahead, but lunch? School's already over for the day. What word would you use for it then? There is no word for a meal you eat after lunch but before dinner, right? It bothers me very much so. But I don't know what I should say. I don't think you were supposed to eat a meal between lunch and dinner to begin with. But I'm hungry now, and my delicious boxed lunch would go to waste otherwise. I have curry. It's very delicious. With much decisiveness, Rin once again picks up the fork between her toes, and with at least as much impoliteness, she points it straight at me. I knew a girl once who loved really spicy curry. We won't go into that.
So, Nakai, what brings you to this place? Like I said, I was told to look for these things. I thought you were looking for the secret to the universe. Ah well. No. The school. From outside you look fine. Is your problem inside? I come to a full stop, opening my mouth but not getting a word out. I can guess. I'm good at guessing. Better than most people.